when you show me you're not going to just give up in this class. All right. Now, what we're going to talk about first today is unit rates. Okay, unit rates. Okay, for example, if I have $2 for 5 cans of Larry food. Oh, that's my bad. It's dog food. My bad. Ooh. All right. Now, it's $2 for 5 cans of dog food. Now, it's been a long time since I bought dog food. I'm not real sure you can buy 5 cans of dog food for $2 these days. But what we want to know is we want to know what it costs per can. Okay? That's, you go into any store, any type of grocery store, you can find out the price per ounce. Usually it's on the price sticker. In other words, they tell you it's $1.99, and you want to know what you're paying per ounce. Most of the time you can see that on the price sticker. It's on the left side usually. Because, for example, why would you want to know that? Well, I'll give you a good example. You go into the store and they say, okay, big old bag of Cheetos, it's on sale for $3.99. Okay? Well, what you need to figure out is if that's a good price or not. Okay? Because a lot of time it's really not much of a difference, especially these days. You go into Walmart, you go into Target, all those places, and they have, it's on sale for $3.99. It's regularly $4.49. So you're supposedly saving 50 cents. I was in there just the other day, and you could buy 2 of the smaller bags of Cheetos for cheaper than you could buy the bigger bag. And you got more ounces. Okay? So a lot of times they do that and making you think, hey, it's on sale, it's got to be a good deal, I'm saving 50 cents. Well, and Walmart's the same way. I've been in Walmart plenty of times where, you go in and you buy this, and it's like, well, that's really not that good of a deal. One of the major ways they do it is on, like, Gatorade. They do it on drinks, where you have the small bottles of Gatorade, and you get the 12-pack, and they say, hey, it's on sale for this. Well, you're better off paying the 50 cents more for the 8-pack of 20-ounce ones than you are for the 12-pack of 12-ounce ones. Okay? Because it comes out to be less per ounce if you buy the 8 containers with 20 ounce in them. So, unit rate is a big deal. Okay? It's something that you really need to understand and know how to do so when you do get into real life, or even help your parents out. Because a lot of times you go in and you see a sale sign and, that's got to be the good deal. Not necessarily. Okay? A lot of times it is, but you need to make sure that it is. Make sure it is the best deal. So how do we do this? Okay? How do we figure out the unit rate? Okay? Well, you simply divide the amount of units into the price. Okay? So we're taking the amount of units and dividing it into the cost. Okay? So we're going to take 5 and divide it into 2. Well, obviously 5 doesn't go into 2. Okay? So we have to add a decimal and bring in a 0. Okay? Well, 5 goes into 20.4 times. So that means that I have 40 cents per can. Okay? Now, please remember, this happens a lot in a lot of my different classes. Please remember that that's not how you write 40 cents. Okay? The dollar sign goes in front of the decimal. If you want to write it that way, you need to do this. Okay? With the cent sign. The cent sign goes after the number. The dollar sign goes before the number. You'd be shocked at the number of people that put the dollar sign after the number, even on dollars. Okay? I don't know who ever taught them that, but somebody obviously did. Okay, the dollar sign always goes in front of the number. Okay, if I have $2.50, it goes there, not there. Okay, that would be wrong. All right, so to figure out unit rate, I have to simply divide the amount of units into the cost. Now, what if I had this? $1.39 for 1.5 quarts of juice. Okay? Well, obviously, we want to take $1.39 over 1.5 quarts. Okay, obviously, we want to change 1.5 to 1.5. So now we're just dividing 1.5 into $1.39. So I have to move the decimal one place to the right. I have to move the decimal one place to the right. And that gives me 15 into 13.9. Okay, 15 doesn't go into 13, so I put a 0, bring up my decimal. 15 into 139 goes how many times? Okay, think. Stop. We know that 10 times 15 is 150. Okay? 150 is only 11 away from 139. So I got to drop it one time. So it's 9. Okay, 9 times 5 would be 45. Carry my 4. That would be 135. Okay, remainder 4. Add a 0. Bring it down. That would be 2. That would be 2. Be 30. Remainder 10. Add a 0. Bring it down. Okay, and that would go how many times? 6 times. Be 90. Remainder 10. So it's going to keep doing that. Well, obviously, we're dealing with money. Okay? So we're not going to have 0.922, 926666 cents. Okay? Right. Be 0.93. So it'd be 93 cents per quart. Okay? Or you can do quart. Okay? So 0.93 per quart. Up here, you need to have per can, or you could do it this way. Either one of those would be an acceptable answer. Okay? I don't care if you put per or if you put the slash. Brianna? Okay? So I want you to do this one on your own. 6 ounces per 2.5 servings. Okay, 6 ounces per 2.5 servings. So we want to know how many is in each serving, basically. So how many ounces are in a serving? Do you have a question or you have the answer, Zach? How did I get 93? 0.92666, and so rounded it to the nearest cent. Because obviously we don't have half cents. Well, some of you do. Some of you need a full cent. What's that, air hockey boy?
That's what I put on it.
No, it's not dollars. It was already 6, not 0.6. It was 6, not 0.6, so your decimal started there. So you have to move it one place there. All right, Michael, what'd you get? 0.24 ounces. No, on the right track. I know what you did wrong because Nick did it as well. Caleb? 2.4 ounces per serving. Now, here's what, it's 6 over 2.5, so that's 2.5 into 6. There's your decimal. I have to move it once here, and I have to move it once here, which makes that 25 into 60.0. Okay, it doesn't, the decimal's not in front of the 6. So when you divide that out, you obviously get 2 here, which would make that 50, remainder 10, bring down my 100, bring up my decimal. 25 goes into 100 4 times, be 100, remainder 0. Okay, so 2.4 ounces per serving. All right, let's move to the next one. Dealing with rates. All right. Finding speed, also known as rate. Okay, the speed is the rate. Now, let's remember our formula. Distance equals rate times time. So, if they want me to find rate, we talked about this yesterday, we need to solve the distance formula for rate. So that means I need to divide both sides by time to get rate by itself. Those two cancel, leaving me with rate is equal to d over t. Okay, so when I'm looking for speed or rate, then I'm looking for distance over time to get the rate. Okay, so then if I said I am flying 1,200 miles in 4 hours. Okay, what is my rate? Brandon? 300 miles per hour. Because you simply take distance, r is equal to d over t, so r is equal to 1,200 over 4 hours. Okay? And you just divide 4 into 1,200, which goes 300 times. And you must have correct labels for this homework that we will do. Okay? So, using that formula, if I swim 2 miles in 40 minutes, I want to know your rate. Larry, do you have a question? Are you stretching, or what are you trying to do? Yes. Good guess. How did you come up with that? Huh? You're thinking about it while you're stretching, or you're working ahead like Owen always does? You're stretching? No, well, maybe you need to stretch more often. Okay? Now, the reason Larry was correct is because we take and put 2 miles over 40 minutes. Okay? Well, I can reduce that to 1 over 20 miles over minutes. I just reduced the fraction 2 over 40. Okay? Reduced it by 2. So that's 1 over 20. Okay, well, 1 over 20 as a decimal is 0.05. Okay? And so that's 0.05 miles per minute. Okay? A little harder one. You drive 69 kilometers in 3/4 of an hour. So I want to know how far you went in 1 hour. Use the formula, then use what we've understood about fractions that we've already talked about. Talked about dividing fractions back in chapter 2. We had fractions just like this, complex fractions where you're going to have a whole number and a fraction within inside the fraction. All right. Anybody besides Owen have the answer? Owen, what'd you get? 92 what? Yes. 92 kilometers per hour. Now, here's how you come up with that. Remember, your formula is rate is equal to distance over time. So that means rate is equal to 69 over 3/4. Okay? 69 over 3/4 is the same thing as that right there, which means 69 times 4 over 3. Okay? Cross cancel. 3 into 3 goes once. 3 into 69 goes 23 times. Then you just take 23 times 4, which is 92. And I had kilometers on top, hours on bottom. Okay? And this right here was your complex fraction that we've talked about in chapter 2. Yeah, you just solved the equation back from the original equation. What? Okay, what did you divide? Did you take 0.75? You divided 0.75 into 92 or 69. You didn't move the decimal twice, did you? Yeah. All right. Now, look at your book at 20 and 21. I want you to do 20 and 21 on your own. Nope. Because you'll talk when you go to the board. Okay? 20 and 21 on your own. Let's look at 30. Number 30 says, in exercise 30 through 31, use. All right. You're going to do 3.8, 5 through 37. Now, all.
I'm doing odd.
Now, listen, on 30 and 31 and 36 and 37, you're going to need to look at the examples in the book, okay? It's not hard. Just look at the example and follow what they do. You may go,